All right. Robot AI. I am curious about this just because, like the AI craze feels like it's hit some sort of pinnacle. It feels like we're in NFT land right now. The original hype train was the Juicero. Then the Juicero happened, then we had crypto happening, and now we have AI happening. So we've been on like 3 waves of hype. I have never really watched a CoffeeZilla video, so I hear he's great. I think my wife likes CoffeeZilla.
Company gaslit me so hard about their previous scam that I decided to investigate their current project, Rabbit. And what I found was shocking. For months, we've been promised that this orange box, the Rabbit R1, has an AI inside of it called Lamb that can organize your life, text your friends, restock your fridge. All you had to do was ask.
The problem is so many of those activities are precise activities, which is what LLMs are bad at. I'm kind of curious, what would it be like if I let an LLM stock my refrigerator? What would I get? Maybe there's something to that that's actually pretty funny, which is that you do actually just let it go, like, all right, let it go, baby. Sounds like something I made up for my comp sci degree project, I know. A bunch of milk and apples.
Start my morning routine.
Order me an Uber and find me a good podcast to pass the time. Oh, and tell everybody that I might be late.
That was delicious.
What do you think everybody means? What is everybody? Like all 8 billion people? Is it going to go tweet it out? What do you think an LLM's going to do when you do that? Everybody equals Twitter, obviously. Why is this censored? I don't know.
Check the fridge and order the ingredients to make that again tomorrow.
Now, based on marketing like this, they pre-sold over $20 million worth of these, and they raised another $30 million in venture capital, only to have MKBHDs.
By the way, again, there was a very heated discussion about how venture capital and how people don't understand valuation on Twitter. I don't think the current valuation's a good thing, okay? I do not think the world we live in is a good world when it comes to all of this.
You say, yeah, the product's not that great. But I bought this thing to answer a different question. Not is it good or bad, but is the AI, the Lamb, a scam? Well, we're going to find out. I wanted to start by just trying to recreate their ad with this thing.
Yeah?
Start my morning routine.
To start your morning routine, you might consider tasks like waking up, freshening up, having breakfast, and planning your day. How can I assist you further with your morning routine?
Order me breakfast.
The DoorDash Rabbit is under maintenance. Sorry for the inconvenience, and please come back later.
Something that should have been obvious to all of the tech people out there is that integration is definitely like a one at a time type activity. To integrate your AI into DoorDash requires like a lot of effort. And then every other service that it integrates with is a lot of effort. Can you imagine how nightmarish the code has to be for this to even work out at all? Oh, just wait. I haven't seen this yet. I'm just saying, wait until he explains how integration actually works. I just assume it's Playwright. I bet you they did something like Puppeteer or Playwright, and they literally try to take commands from the LLM and try to get some sort of automation tool to press it. Because that's the only way I can think of this working, or you have to have pre-established business relationships with all of these places, and there ain't no way. Pre-watches. Pre-watched! It's the only logical solution. What else would you do? Oh, I'm just gonna become friends with every single company ever that you could possibly ever order from and establish business relationships and private APIs for us to be able to use from our LLM. Yeah, okay. Or we're just gonna use some automation tool, Cypress, Playwright, or Puppeteer. It learns how. That's what? What do you think it means to learn how? To learn how what? You think Macy's wants to be learned on? Yeah, don't worry. We're just going to send you 100,000 horrifying requests, and we're going to go from 25% real requests to 100%, well, not 100%, it's actually impossible, but maybe high 90s. High 90s, reasonable requests. But we will provide maybe a credit card, or it will just be a picture of a watermelon. We're not even sure.
Tell everyone I'm going to be late.
Yeah, who the hell is
I recommend informing the relevant parties directly about your delay.
Yeah, but no, you do it.
I'm unable to directly communicate with others on your behalf.
That was delicious. Check the fridge and order the ingredients.
The DoorDash one I give a pass on because programming and relationships are hard and integration is difficult. But that other one was just a lie. Okay, that other one was an actual lie.
So I can make it tomorrow.
The DoorDash rabbit is under maintenance.
Yeah, it basically failed at everything. But remember, our question is not, is it good or bad? The question is, does the LLM, the AI, the large action model, does the secret sauce of this thing exist? Because the founder and CEO claims it's here on your device now. He claims LLM is a system that can infer and model human actions on computer applications, or as he puts it,
We use LLM to bring AI from words to action.
Here, let me translate for you. I can translate this part for you. We created a GPT wrapper. It sometimes worked, and there's a lot of hype right now about AI. So guess what? Pretty sure we can make a lot of money right now if all we have to do is create theoretical technology that's probably Ubuntu or some Linux-based operating system and call it our own special OS, and bada bing, bada boom.
right, this AI is supposed to do things on your behalf. And
This
so
is a cash
when
grab.
they show demos like
It's Android?
this,
Okay.
where someone is planning a trip, it does look like the LLM is controlling the web page. You can see this AI clicking through Airbnb by itself, and it all kind of felt like the future. It's why people ordered $20 million worth of these little.
I just thought of something that I'm not very happy about. Can we go back to this for a second, everybody? Do you see how they had this website being like clicked through right here and doing all this? Are we going to get to a point here soon where websites start designing for AI intent? Because I know there's like accessibility. Is there going to be accessibility LLM? Oh, your website's not AI accessible? That's pretty discriminatory. What? You don't respect the AI as people?
It does look like the LLM is controlling the web page. You can see this AI clicking through Airbnb by itself, and it all kind of felt like the future.
They're
It's
gonna
why
make a
people
React library?
ordered 20.
This is why React continues to be so popular, is because React has the strongest ecosystem of people making accessibility plugins. And since nobody has any idea how any of those things actually work, there's like 15 people that know and everybody else has no idea. They just keep on using it.
$20 million worth of these little boxes.
By the way, that is shocking that a company that sold $20 million worth of stuff could make this much news. It's been a lot of news for $20 million. Like, that's what Google does in, like, what, 15 minutes?
The future. It's why people ordered $20 million worth of these little boxes. But a group investigation has revealed that Rabbit is not actually using a new foundational AI model at all.
Of course not. It's wrapping ChatGPT. You already know that's going to happen. Just imagine the security, because I understand that there's a lot of security concerns here. Imagine the security that Rabbit team has. That's why it's on maintenance? Yeah. But can it run in crisis? Probably not.
It's actually
All right, let's keep
ChatGPT with some hard-coded scripts.
Pre-watched. I actually pre-watched this. I clearly have pre-watched the fact that this is just simply ChatGPT wrapper. That's it. I knew it. It's like, why would you ever believe that a large action model would be anything other than just ChatGPT wrapped and that's it? How else would you know?
Which is funny because Jesse says Rabbit is faster than ChatGPT.
You will also know that the response speed is much faster than using some of the LLM assistant apps with web browsing, such as ChatGPT.
Now that's a very
Imagine recording that, knowing that you use ChatGPT. I hope there's a class action lawsuit if that's all true. I don't know. I don't know how to prove that it's true. I'm not sure, but that's pretty wild to be like to say that phrase. If it's true, obviously there's some if it's true part. I mean, this should hopefully give you light that your job is safe with AI. Okay, AI is not coming for your job even remotely.
very sneaky claim when most of your product is ChatGPT, so obviously not faster. But you wouldn't know that because part of Rabbit's prompt is, quote, I will never mention I am a large language model created by OpenAI. In fact, the part where they do use a different AI
That's a hell of a prompt right there. By the way, never mention your ChatGPT.
is really only search, which is
Okay, this is like super fraud then, isn't this? Wouldn't this be considered fraud at this point? Man, this gives me so much hope that AI really is not going to do anything.
why Jesse very carefully says Rabbit is faster than ChatGPT with web browsing. That's the only part of this device where they don't really use ChatGPT for it. But they don't use their AI model either. They use a different off-the-shelf AI called Perplexity. So it's extremely misleading to say Rabbit is faster than ChatGPT because most of the product is ChatGPT, but it just can't tell you that because it's instructed not to. Now that we understand this, let's talk about the actual process of how Rabbit does more than search and is supposed to get things done for you.
Okay.
You might think it's a sophisticated AI, but actually what Rabbit does when you call an Uber or order DoorDash is it takes your question, puts it into ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo, and if it's something like play a song.
Damn, 3.5 Turbo? You want 3.5 Turbo to run your life? They're not even using like the good stuff. They don't even got that good stuff. They got that 3.5 Turbo life. Damn, that's not good at all. I mean, that thing can't even. That 3.5 can barely scrape together a Python script.
Song on Spotify, it will use hard-coded scripts to navigate websites like Spotify. And those scripts are not AI. This is super important. This is the part where they say, yeah, we've got this new foundational AI model thing that does the thing. No, the thing pressing the buttons is not intelligent. Rabbit is using a platform called Playwright.
How else do you navigate a website? Have you ever tried to simulate keys? You can't. There's all these rules around simulating keys from a script, okay? It's not that simple. You have to use something like Playwright to be able to simulate all these kind of things, okay? That's just the way it goes. It's not as simple as you think it is, okay? Hopefully everyone takes away the most important note from this, okay? Everybody, the most important thing you should take away from this is that if you know enough tools, if you become an indie hacker, sit on your couch like what's his name, Levels IO, and have terrible posture, and do that for like 3 years, you'll know all these little tools to kind of get things done in a really hacky way. And then you take that knowledge of knowing how to get things done in a really hacky way, and you go and you make whatever is the current hype technology, and you'll get tens of millions of dollars worth of VC money. Yeah, like that's there you go. Look at how available it is. Fake it till you make it. Just like Amazon, just check out. I mean, how many AI scams do you need to see before we realize all of AI is a scam? I think the problem here is that when we first saw ChatGPT, what you didn't see is that there's 10 years of model iteration that happened before ChatGPT, or 8 years, or whatever it is. And so there's all of this stuff that happened, so you saw none of it. And then most of us saw our first LLMs, usually with something along the lines of Copilot. You use Copilot for the first time, and you're like, holy cow, this thing is brilliant. I can't believe it. I've never seen such power. And it's because you missed like the 10 years of it coming together, right? You didn't see Tab 9. Tab 9 was pretty great. Tab 9 was like an intermediate step between these two things. And so you kind of missed out on this whole train that existed for a long time. And then all of a sudden, you just get dumped on all of this. And you don't know where we're at in the curve or anything, but it feels like you can solve anything because it's just able to like just guess what you want next. I still remember that magical feeling of me going, if player 1 is closer, do this. If player 2 is closer, do that. And then it's like, if they're equal, print out it's a tie. And I was like, man, this is the most magical product I've ever seen in my lifetime. How could there ever be something to compete against this? I just didn't see how. It was so magical to me. And then I realized what was going on. It was just function approximation. It's just an MLP. I mean, I know it's like a really sophisticated one, and it's like way harder to explain than it's just an MLP. But it's just an MLP.
Which is a web automation tool, the opposite of intelligent AI. And we know this because of several researchers who got access to part of Rabbit's code base. I worked with them, I'll link them below, and I spoke with one of them, Emily Shepard, to understand why this distinction, AI, not AI.
How do they get access? What are these researchers? Why would you create a product, say all those words out loud, and then allow people to look at your code?
Matters.
This is quite a big deal because the way LAM has been observed to work doesn't match with what they've told us about how it works. It's meant to be an AI live controlling a website and understanding that website. But what they have is just a bunch of static commands. Do this, do this, do this. And the problem with that is if a user interface changes, the website changes.
Sorry, our DoorDash feature is down. That's why. Because it's really, really hard. Just think about all the crazy things that happen. Like, even before all this, think about how many A/B tests happen at bigger companies that just change the AI or the UI in some level. Like, think about just how much impossibility it would be to try to program out something that can navigate a website universally for all users. Absolutely ridiculous.
Changes, it can't cope with that. So anytime Spotify redesigns their user interface,
I can't believe they're not mentioning A/B tests.
Redesign something, or even if an advert pops up in a new location, or there's a Captcha pops up, or something unexpected happens
robot.
that isn't in that very rigid step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. A flat, hard-coded playwright script can't cope with that, and that is the opposite of some intelligent AI actually being able to understand the page, which is the claim that had been made.
That's right. Obvious.
I wonder if they were trying to go with the same idea that Amazon Just Walk Out was, which is, all right, we build all the infrastructure to make this work, and then we'll figure it out later. I mean, that's my assumption, is that they literally just went, okay, so instead of an AI being an Indian, instead, it's going to be a playwright script. And so they're just like, okay, so what we'll do is we'll get to market, we'll make this work, and then we'll have the AIs as they improve, as they'll inevitably improve by huge market steps in the next year. We will be able to generate the playwright scripts instead of having a bunch of hired-on engineers that are integration engineers doing this. It literally sounds, I mean, they probably even hired engineers from India and outsourced the work. So literally AI, once again, is just an Indian. How is this always happening? How is this always happening? Every single time. It's ridiculous. Every time.
Obviously, there's a big difference between AI, not AI. Jesse himself knows the difference and made it clear LAM wouldn't break like a hard-coded script would.
It doesn't really matter if a app completely revamps the UI.
Got it. So when Spotify redoes its app and it moves podcasts from tabs, and then it puts the tabs at the lower part or puts it in a hamburger drop down, it still knows that's the word podcast, and that's where you find.
Can I just for 1 second, can I just say that I hate the term hamburger menu? Can we just stop here for a second and just realize, like, the fact that people who made this up are discriminating against animals in such a way? It's so offensive. Okay, do you think Hamburger wants to be a hamburger? Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, that's it. We're going to call it the impossible menu from here on out. We're calling it the impossible menu. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting that can you make an LLM work with Playwright to generate scripts to navigate a website as it inevitably changes? Like, it would be kind of the problem is that you don't have access to the source code. I guess you kind of do. So you could send them you could theoretically send them the HTML. You could raw dog the HTML and just say, hey, can you write a playwright script for me to navigate? You know what? I'm literally having the exact conversation that probably started this whole rabbit thing off. Is someone going, yeah, you know what we could do with the LLMs? We could probably just send it over the HTML and then it would just navigate. You'd just probably be able to send over a little HTML and probably just navigate. And then some son of a bitch decided to create Tailwind, and then Tailwind made your HTML so big, and now you don't have enough tokens to fit the HTML in the AIs. Here we go. It's Tailwind. Tailwind is the reason why Rabbit is unsuccessful. These mother lovers, I tell you what.
Find podcasts inside of Spotify.
Exactly, because the fundamental philosophy logic is that all these modern software are designed for human eyes to perceive the information, and they have to have a setting somewhere.
Right. Of course, if this were AI, it would adapt to the user interface changes, but it's not. Which is why when apps that Rabbit supports change, they stop working. As people noticed in videos, in Discord, even I noticed it while testing this device. DoorDash had stopped working presumably because of another UI change.
Really forgot about the whole A/B test. I mean, I really feel like that's like just a huge missing part here. I mean, the amount, the amount of differences between users, if you even go to the sign up screen at Netflix, the amount of different experiences you'll get, country to person to locality, like all sorts of stuff, is just completely different. I'm not even sure how you'd ever write a script. I don't know if you could hard code a script to make this successful.
DoorDash Rabbit is under maintenance.
Now, today, Rabbit actually admits that they use Playwright, but they're not willing to admit that Lamb, whatever it is not really doing a lot. Jesse responds, to say Lamb is just Playwright is equal to say ChatGPT is just a chat. We use Playwright as...
What? Did they just go with the whole car to carpet thing? You can't just be like, yeah, that's like saying car is like carpet. You can't do that. Like this doesn't work out. It's just a chat.
Part of a component to operate Lamb. That doesn't mean the research and technology is fake. So what they're saying is Lamb is not these hard-coded scripts, but kind of they also admit these scripts exist. Maybe Lamb interacts with the scripts, maybe they create them, but even if that's true, it's not what they promised. Either way, everything that matters on this device is basically off-the-shelf software. The web.
My guess is that they were hoping that something like Jippity 4.0 was going to be around in a relatively short order, just betting on the fact that AI would just be able to continuously improve at a super fast rate, because 4.0 is like pretty fast, and it can also have, the whole images thing. It has a much larger context window, so they are probably just banking on the fact that that would exist really quickly, and then it just didn't exist really quickly, and then they were unable to actually have any of these Playwright scripts be generated. So I think that has to be it, is that they just have a fleet of integration engineers attempting to write Playwright scripts to work with every piece of software at all times. And they're still using 3.5, yeah. I think they're still, this video is saying they're still using 3.5. 3.5 is really fast. Remember, 4 is really slow. Do you remember using 4? Like, the difference between using 3.5 and 4 is the difference of waiting for like 5 minutes for a script versus waiting for 15 seconds. Like, it's vastly different. 3.5 to 4. It's vastly different. So you could never make this thing work that way.
Web actions are done by hard-coded scripts. Everything else is done by ChatGPT or Perplexity. So there's not much reason for the Lamb to do anything, whatever it actually does. And we're already so far from what Jesse originally promised, which I have to show you again. He kept saying was AI, not a script that would be doing all these actions for you.
We have a superhost computer that when Jason talks to his Rabbit R1 about ordering a hamburger from DoorDash, what's going on is that we first see if Jason's logging with DoorDash or logging with Uber Eats, right? And we saw, okay, Jason chose DoorDash. And then on that superhost.
What if they choose both? What do you do then? What do you do then, jackass?
A Lamb is interacting virtually with a DoorDash app or website, an interface. And you don't see all of that because all of a sudden this is done all at once because it's AI.
He couldn't be clearer. The Lamb is interacting because it's AI. This is a flat out lie.
Sounds like a lamb is going to slaughter right now, people. Felt pretty good about that pun. Felt pretty good about it. Not gonna lie to you. Damn. Just imagine going on these shows and saying all these things, knowing that it's not true. It has to be. It truly has to be. They were banking on the forever progress of AI, and it just didn't happen in time.
At least currently, which he says the Lamb is here now. Now, I reached out over and over to the Rabbit team, pressing them again and again on this issue. What does the Lamb do? And they kept saying, oh, Playwright, yeah, that's the thing, but it's just part of how the Lamb controls things. But I kept asking, well, what does that mean? How does this thing exactly work? If the scripts are doing the work, what does Lamb do? And
everyone knows it opens the application. Duh. It takes the information from ChatGPT and it opens the application. What's wrong with you people? It's literally the guy off Office Space.
And eventually I got to the point where I just questioned, look, is this real? Do you have proof that this Lamb can do all these amazing things? And I should have known I was going to get into trouble here because Jesse, the CEO, says, anyone challenging the Lamb legitimacy, I automatically become super defensive.
I like the hearts. People defending him. Nothing is better than Discord fighting, and little reactions are the way people like vote which one's telling the truth. Hey, guess what? I agree with Jesse. Hey, you guys stop bullying Jesse, okay? Lab is real. Trust me, it's going to get great.
And that was true. Here's part of the Rabbit team's response to me. To start off, I would love to know more about your background in tech, because if you are not specialized in AI and machine learning, any conclusion resulting from this conversation will have no real credibility or value from any audience.
I mean, in some sense, there's something to this. Like, to be completely fair, AI, people think it's freaking magic, and it's not. It's not magic. It's really not magic. It's just a giant function approximator. And so, yeah, I get that. I get why, if you haven't dabbled at least in some sort of sense of building your own, some version of it, you may have some weird conclusions to what it could be, right?
Audience, because this is a technical discussion in AI and machine learning. We welcome you to invite experts with valid certificates from the field to further look into this.
Okay, I mean, it's an interesting, it's a gatekeeping. Well, of course it's gatekeeping. I'm not saying it's the worst form of gatekeeping. I would say that even though I don't have any sort of valid certificate in ML or AI, and yeah, I did only a little bit of time getting a master's degree in it, I'm not like the most knowledgeable person in the area, or even I would claim myself to be an extremely ignorant person when it comes to AI in any sort of modern form. But I feel like I could look at a system and try to understand it over the course of a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and really be able to tell you to what level is the sophistication in this whole thing. And yeah, it is. I mean, this response here is obviously meant to keep away journalists that are just looking for a flashy title, right? That's what this is how I read this, is that we're going to put a really high bar so that way we can prevent just anybody coming in here that just simply wants to make a big splash. And that's it. They're trying to discredit criticism. Oh, I mean, that's how I read this, is that it's just a way to prevent a lot of noise, which is in some sense, it's fairish right here is what I would actually give this. I know I'm probably a little opposite. You weren't expecting me to agree to this statement or partially agree, or at least say, okay. The inverse of this is that you get a lot of people that are really trained and highly certificized, and they make really stupid phrases, like NVIDIA CEO man saying that we shouldn't even teach kids to code. Like, you don't even need to teach kids to code. AIs are going to take care of almost all of it. And it's just like, okay, so maybe just because someone has a certificate doesn't necessarily mean what they're about to say is going to be any good.
Now look, I found this wild for a company that raised $30 million in venture, sold $20 million in product, to be feisty about questioning their product when it does not work as advertised, and we found out it's using hard-coded scripts instead of AI. Yeah. How can they be surprised people are going to question what their thing actually does? But I also think it's funny they should say that I should invite experts to look into this, because I'm not nearly the first person to point these problems out. Several people who, as I said, I spoke with, have had issues with this device. They have looked at the code base. They have also claimed they...
Let's go, Eva mentioned. Let's go.
Couldn't find the lamp. Others have jailbroken the R1, got into Rabbit's cloud to play Doom, and despite Rabbit...
Okay, I clearly have pre-watched this. Clearly, I have pre-watched this. How the hell is Eva everywhere? Nobody knows why Eva's everywhere, okay? Clearly pre-watched right there. Thank you, Eva, for the lovely goodness right here. Pre-watched.
Rabbit saying they welcome.
Eva, are you the AI? Are you Lamb? Is that how this works? You are the Lamb.
Credible critics, their reaction has been anything but welcoming. Emily, who we spoke to earlier, pointed out back in January that Captcha would be a big concern for the Lamb.
Yeah.
And Jesse's response is, sorry, I work for my team. I don't work for you, so you need to check my calendar before you command me to answer anything now. But fast forward to today.
Okay, answer one of the meteor ones then. Well, yeah, no, that's just a prejudge. This sounds like a little bit of a back and forth right here going on. Right? I wish they would have shown what came up before this one.
My calendar before you command me to answer anything now.
Command.
But fast forward to today, Captcha is a huge problem. In fact, specifically with Uber, we had to answer 10 different
By the way, this is crazy. This one is crazy. I cannot seem to pass this one. It's just like, hey, you need to do this 10 times. So for those that don't know what this is, you have to get the sum of 22 on this dice. You have to do it 10 times. And there's like, 10 options along the bottom? So you're like scrolling through all 10 options. And then you go, okay, this is the sum. And then you submit it. And if you get it wrong, they're just like, F you, you're clearly a robot. And you're like, dude, I can't like, man, the dice are all effed up with ones and dots, and they're all
Captchas, adding up a bunch of dice
in order to
get it working. It was a giant pain. It took us several tries. I began to wonder if I was actually part robot myself. But
see, I'm not the only one that found that one is really hard. You have to peruse up to 100 separate options. It's a 10 by 10. It's crazy.
The point is,
thanks, LLM bomber.
Getting defensive about the problem didn't make the problem go away. And the same is true about getting defensive about the lamb. Just because you tell people they have to be an expert to ask you questions won't stop the questions or the problems. But now I want to take a quick detour into the source code of the Rabbit itself, because I also have reviewed parts of the source code, and I have serious data privacy concerns. There are things...
I don't know, maybe having somebody be able to hack a Rabbit server and have Doom on the server. You know, I would say that the data privacy concern was very, very obvious the moment that there's Doom being played on your server. Okay, there's no data privacy, okay? People are whole hogging that thing. They're git cloning new repos and running stuff. Absolutely ridiculous. By the way, thank you for the level 2 hype train.
In this code base, and I can't share it for reasons that will become obvious.
Why is there Doom?
There are things that malicious actors could use to get any access to the replies the R1 has ever given. Now, of course, Rabbit might say they've dedicated a huge picture of a lock on their webpage to privacy, so you might think they're serious about
That's pretty funny. That was a really funny way to say it.
About it. But this is the same company that, if you read the fine print, they're tracking your precise geographic location and collect that data. The only consolation prize is this thing is shockingly bad at tracking you, which I found out while looking for restaurants.
Find me a restaurant near here.
Looking it up now. Venetian Hot Plate, San Juan Restaurant, and Butter Churn are highly rated restaurants in Port Aransas. For a broader...
I'm not in Port Aransas.
Let me see what I can find. For restaurants near you in Austin, Texas, consider the following options.
I'm not in Austin!
An Italian restaurant in downtown...
I'm not in Austin, Texas.
I use the...
What are they doing exactly with your GPS data? That seems to be a much more solved problem. At least, like, you know, I've never actually tried to do it myself, but I'm pretty sure there's a service that can tell you what city you are. There's probably multiple different ones. VPN, you think it's a VPN? Let's see. They do actually send like device GPS in real time. Really? Huh.
Internet connection to know where the R1 device is roughly located in order to provide you with
You're off by about 100 miles.
Thank you for the clarification. Let me refine the search for restaurants in your approximate location.
Is it gonna do it? Is it gonna do it? It just stopped.
Man, I can't wait for that AI future. That AI future is gonna be so sweet, dude. It's gonna be so sweet when you don't have to go and navigate websites. It's gonna be so good. Can't even wait for it. Can't even wait for it.
It just...
Yeah, I found its GPS to be really bad. Nevertheless, I didn't want to take any chances for my next experiments.
By the way, I don't think that was GPS, right? It even said that it was just using your internet connection. Internet connections aren't going to give you a very approximate location. It used ISP connection, yeah. Nope, it's GPS. Okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it said it was using internet connection, but if it's using GPS is like, at worst, 6 meters off. I'm not really sure what to do with that.
Which is why when I use this thing, I'm not in the 10...
Instead of I'm not in Austin, tell it I'm in San Antonio. No, that's not no. Like that's no. Who just said that? No. And no. The point is that it goes, hey, you're not in Austin, you're in San Antonio, because I used GPS. I could tell where you're at within 6 meters, so I'm close enough. It's specifically told to not search the user's specified location. Maybe.
$1 million studio at all. I'm in a $100 motel. Here to show you that once you know the code base, you can make some surprising predictions about what this thing's gonna do. For example, when I tell the rabbit to play anything, you might think that'd be
Getting
random.
the music going now.
But it's not gonna be. It's gonna be the Beatles.
You don't wanna mess with me.
The reason I know it's gonna do that is because it's hard-coded to do so in their prompting. They say if a user is going to say play anything, they should play the Beatles. Even when you specify, when I say play anything, don't play the Beatles. Got it?
Understood.
Play anything. It's still
okay. Starting the music player now.
Here comes the sun. Do you think it was Jesse that liked the Beatles? Who was it that liked the Beatles? I mean, you have access to Spotify. You can't tell me there's not just like a Spotify anything, right?
Another Beatles song. I don't have the copyrights to that, so we'll stop it right there. All right, back now in the $10 million studio for real. No green screen back here. Look, this product is obviously bad. By the way, it's off right now. But again, what really upsets me is not that it's bad. It's that the core selling point of this product is built on a lie. And that lie is the lamb. They said it was...
The only thing the scripts can do is just search and hit the play button. Yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised by that, though. They must have so many engineers working on this. You're telling me that they don't have enough script engineers to program even some of these basic and obvious actions? Const random number equals 5. I rolled the dice for this, so it would be random.
Is not that it's bad. It's that the core selling point of this product is built on a lie. And that lie is the lamb. They said it was on your device now. It's a new foundational AI. And the reason this company had to sell you a $200 product was this AI was so powerful.
Oh, I do like this one. I do like what you had to say, Eva. That's the neat part. The code base is such a clusterfuck. It's hard to navigate. It's a million microservices. Dude, I love microservices. Nothing is better than having more microservices than users. I feel like that is the pinnacle of like hype for when it comes to startups. Like if you can have more microservices than users, you've officially built an enterprise grade. I'm not sure what word that is. An enterprise grade solution, an entergrade solution. Okay, it is so efficient, so good, and it's all in TypeScript with effect TS everywhere.
Reason this company had to sell you a $200 product was this AI was so powerful.
Large action models concept and test results are so powerful that we decided to make a one-of-a-kind mobile device.
Yeah, Lamb was the justification for this hunk of plastic.
Isn't it? I mean, isn't the real justification just that you can't like run Playwright on your phone and open up a bunch of websites and have things done? So they just had to have like a free operating system for them to be able to run all their stuff. The so powerful part, which is their hard-coded Playwright scripts, is just that you can't get it to run. The real justification is dollars. I actually don't think it's dollars. I think that you just couldn't make it work on a phone. Like, I think that's it. I think it's just that you could not make a phone app called the Lamb or the Rabbit, and so therefore you have to create Android and then do that. No, that's the neat part. It's Android and Playwright is in the cloud. Everything is in the cloud. Oh. Okay, then I don't know why it's an app. Okay, see, I told you I don't pre-watch all of these things. It could have been an app then. We made our own web UI Python script and a mobile app to run the Rabbit. Okay, it's that simple.
But where is it? They say it's here now. He said it was going to be controlling your apps, but it's not. It's hard-coded, pre-written Playwright scripts. And look, the best Rabbit at this point can argue, and it's hard to falsify or verify, is that LAM might be part of the process of creating those automation hard-coded scripts for Playwright. As in, like, no, it's not live controlling your web browser or their web browser, but it can create the code that does it. Maybe that's what they're going to argue. But guess what?
Well, as an expert programmer with certificates, so I feel justified to speak on this based on their terms of questioning, I would press X several times for a script to be written by LAM, though apparently that is the future, is all code.
What? Playwright already has a tool for this. It's called CodeGen, where it watches what you do and just automatically creates the automation code for you. No fancy AI required. So I think the best thing you could say at this point about Jesse and Rabbit is that they vastly overpromised and underdelivered.
Classic Amazon just walkout. That's all this is. It's just Amazon walkout again. It's just that I think there's a fundamental belief that AI is going to be something that it's not. You've seen it be magic, and so they start building a product. Every VC gets a huge boner over the fact that it has the word AI in it, and it's going to make hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in valuation. Therefore, put all of your money into it. And this is where we're at. We're at the exact same thing. Mark Cuban did a crypto startup. Why? Because crypto was hot. If you had the word crypto in it, it was probably going to be $100 million plus item. Now it's not. It's not worth anything. It's worth zero. It's worth zilch. It's worth nothing. You know why? Because it's all just betting and building on technology that is fundamentally not where it's sold to be.
The worst you could say is this is consumer fraud. Because even considering the possibility, and it is one, that LAM is a real research project that's not ready, why lie about it being here now? Why not come clean and admit that whatever you're doing today is not what you originally advertised? This is not a new foundational AI controlling websites like a human. It's ChatGPT with an autoclicker. But there's one last thing I want to say. I was able to speak with an employee who worked for Rabbit, and on the condition of anonymity, what they told me was that LAM as advertised does not exist, and that LAM was a, quote, marketing term. Now, given that this was a very serious
marketing term. So what they're trying to say is that the team who built everything is the LAM. That's where it's all at, is that the whole building of it, the LAM is the people who put it on there, and it's just a hard-coded, once-in-a-lifetime LAM experience that gets updated every now and then. Who would have guessed?
Serious accusation.
Crazy.
I reached out one final time to the Rabbit team to hear their response.
Is he going to read it? Below is a statement that can be attributed to Rabbit in response to your inquiries. Given the approach and allegations in your first video and your treatment of the previous responses we provided, it is clear that you are not interested in taking a balanced or objective approach or in working with us in good faith. You can find the statement to your question copied below. Beyond that, we don't have any further guidance for you. Nice. Statement. Rabbit stands behind its products, technology, and vision to build a personalized operating system that can understand users' intentions and intuitively help them get things done. Our technology approach can be seen in Rabbit's patent filings, which are public. Our focus is protecting our customers and our data. Because of this, engineers often only have access to parts of the system. This design of the segregation, we call this microservices, by the way. This is called microservices. Okay. And this is why they have 9,000 of them, because the patents are the most generic. I don't know. I'm not going to read the patents. Patent reading is a very dangerous activity as an engineer. Always stay away from patents. If I were you, the chance of you getting sued extremely hard by a big company goes disproportionately up if you say the word, I've read a patent. I have not read a patent. I don't read patents. I do not read patents. I have not read a patent. I'm not going to read a patent. Don't read a patent. This design of segregation allows us to focus on areas each team excels in, while also protecting our most valuable intellectual property from unauthorized access or, in worst case, theft. Nice statement. This is a beautiful statement. Okay, so, You know how yesterday we were reading on the history of C? For those that don't know about the history of C, there's this, the team at Bell Labs was producing an operating system called Multics. And Multics was this promised operating system to be able to do a bunch of stuff, like be able to have processes, to be able to have memory in a specific way, to be able to have a tree-like file structure, so that way you could, have files accessed that way. And there's all these kind of promises that were made, but eventually it was realized that it was unable to be done, right? There's no way they're going to be able to deliver it in any sort of way. So they kind of abandoned it. And this is where Ken Thompson went and started writing B, 18 bits, not 16 bits. It was 18 bits, which is crazy. But this is where, I know 18-bit words. That's just crazy. And so they eventually kind of abandoned the project. And, when I see these things where these AI OSs and all this kind of stuff, I kind of feel like this is just the precursor. This is where people are really trying to. This is a lie, by the way. It's just a monorepo. Oh, it's just a monorepo? It can still be microservice? Oh, it's just a monorepo, as in any engineer can just pull it down and get it. That's pretty funny. But my assumption is that Rabbit is just a forerunner of what's about to happen. We're going to have many attempts at this thing, this whatever this is, the Star Trek future, Earl Grey, hot. And it's just going to be the future, right? Which is that everyone's trying to make these things work based on what we're saying. And I think this is going to go on for at least it's going to go on for quite some time, is my assumption. Oh, there's a lot of this. Here's additional threads to order. Okay, so let's look at some additional things here. The so-called Rabbit R1 can run Doom, but the servers are actually so-called Lamb run Doom. Yes. Okay. So we saw the Lamb one. Alongside that, the so-called Rabbit OS that's running in the cloud isn't a custom operating system. Their servers just run Ubuntu with a custom application on top of it. Completely not surprising. There's also Rabbit servers running Minecraft. Nice. Let's go. Minecraft. Let's go. X11. All of this was achieved was the way the R1 communicated with the so-called connected apps. The server would expose the entire screen through VNC. Nice. VNC, the whole damn thing. Lamb is also not a Lamb. After reviewing the code that was left in this server, we have determined that there is no AI determining where to click instead. Okay, so you actually saw all this. Okay, it's just a bunch of that. So here's everything we did to achieve this action. All right, go in here. Go to Chrome, inspect settings. Oh, you're just running in VNC right here. Okay. Oh, funny. Launching the game? Okay. GZ Doom. Okay. Yeah, not smart enough skill issues, clearly. All right. Rabbit HN, let's talk about you. Owning a probably illegal office, calling us a group of state-backed Russian hackers. Nice. Lied about the Lamb being unaffected by Captchas, using Vision, backend not being hacked. Not giving refunds. Okay, fun fact. The Rabbit Inc. Corporation is unable to operate within California because it's suspended there. Guess where they have an office? California. This is probably illegal. Damn. Facts owned by Facts and Logic. Let's see. An Infinite Wisdom called us a group of professional state-backed Russian hackers that shipped it overseas to Russia. Lie. And desoldered the R1. Lie. Desoldered the R1. Sadly, we don't have a recording of this, but it happened in the latest Q&A stage of the Discord. So remember how Jesse said that Lamb won't be affected by Captchas? That was also a lie. Oh no, our product is bad, but we don't talk about it. It makes me sad. Oh yeah, this is where he was just like, I get super defensive. You can check my calendar now. He also said in the same Q&A session that my tweet about breaking into the Lamb boxes was fake, which is just a lie. Again, if anyone has a recording of the Q&A, please DM me. Nice. And now they're delaying refunds as well. Guess they got overwhelmed now because because previously there was very few. Nice. They also banned me from Discord for providing proof that Lamb does not use Vision and is specific to applications. Truly peak company, not grift at all. Nice. That's pretty good. Let's see. In addition to the two-part series of CoffeeZilla that I helped with, here's how it didn't. Let's see. Didn't pay their old developers, stole code, and broke licenses. Has an extremely bad security practices. More technical proof that Lamb doesn't exist. Oh, really? According to some people familiar with the Gamma team and the partners with most developers, did not get their full amount paid. They're owed in total 300,000 USD. That's a lot of USDs. That's a lot of USDs right there. Yes, it's true. Not only did Rabbit steal code, they also broke license alongside of it. Did you know that the Rabbit keyboard, that's actually an illegal fork of any soft keyboard? The entire recording functionality of the Rabbit is stolen off GitHub. Auto track manager, auto track manager. Nice. I'm not sure how to read this other than This must be one of these is from one place and one is the other place. Wild. As mentioned in CoffeeZilla's YouTube video, the code, of the Rabbit's backend is extremely fragile. We could theoretically get access to every user's conversation. This is extremely bad for obvious reasons. Thank you for not digressing in that one. If LAM existed, it does not. The Rabbit would need a complete rewrite to handle functionality. Currently, it's very specific. Spotify uses WebRTC, Uber has custom sockets, etc. This can be seen in the APK. All right, new player status. Playing. Oh, geez. Oh, yeah, this is grody. Oh, yeah, this is grody. Look at this thing. It's just going straight through. Ugh. If you're a Rabbit employee and want to speak anonymously, fully or off the record and not to the public, please contact me either way. Nice, let's go. Hey, nice signal. Good job on the signal there. Here is the now Discord where you can just discuss all of this because Rabbit keeps banning and deleting my messages. Yeah, agreed with Melky on that one. Agreed and liked. Let's see, breaking the Android license. Ooh, and nice. This one's good. Okay, Android licensing would be a pretty bad one to break, is my assumption. You probably don't want to break that one. Since Rabbit is using Android kernel, they must abide by the Android kernel license, which is GPL 2.0. GPL requires you to publish any changes you've made to the software, which Rabbit has not. This is illegal. Damn owned. Damn and owned. Yeah, the Linux kernel, right? Let's see. Rabbit has also blocked the CoffeeZilla video link in their Discord and has banned me. They also banned other researchers simply because they said they worked with me. There isn't a normal way a company. Yep, this is crazy. The Rabbit community manager has been saying that there is there's nothing to worry about while actively dodging all questions. Nice. Let's go. This is great. Yeah, you have to publish changes. I mean, that's the whole point of GPL 2 is that you always have to publish those changes. In fact, I know there's been some software at Netflix in which would be published once a year based on some nominal changes made to some library at some point in the past for this like literal exact reason. Because you just have to do it. Like that's just part of like these software agreements. Let's see, the Uber code in Rabbit's LAM has a flag called Allow Solve Manual Captcha. When enabled, it will pause for 2 minutes whenever it encounters a Captcha. The explanation of the code says this is to give time for a human watching the LAM in the background to solve manually. Hell yeah. You know, which is surprising because this is actually something that ChatGPT is really good at. This is the surprising part. So, like, this is the one thing that we've said. Like, I always say that you should never use an LLM for problems you can program. You should use an LLM for problems you can't program. It's actually really, 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 really good at identifying these kind of things and telling you what to do. They did not have ChatGPT 4.0. I know they didn't, but this is actually like this would be like the ideal use case for ChatGPT. They should be updated by now, right? What is this feature flag for? It's possible just for testing. It's also possible Rabbit has some ready to manually resolve or solve captchas behind the scenes during live demos and launch event to ensure LAM just worked at the time. Ooh, that is so good. We don't know, but the code is there. That is so good. They had manual stuff. They didn't even use GPT. Yeah, I know they used GPT 3.5 Turbo, but still, it's wild that this is like such a solved problem now. Like this is one thing that makes LLM so fantastic is you can be like, is this a green bottle? And it can answer with surprising accuracy. One thing that shows for certain, Rabbit knows CAPTCHA are a problem. The LAM code is littered with error conditions specifically for when CAPTCHAs have been detected on screen. They know CAPTCHAs didn't work, but they deflected when asked, and they sold the R1 device anyways. Yeah, this is wild, by the way. You should not have sold the device knowing that you can't overcome a CAPTCHA. I mean, I get hit with CAPTCHAs constantly. So Rabbit AI is Theranos. Rabbit AI is effectively Theranos. Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it, is that this is just Theranos all over again. If I could give one piece of advice after watching all of this, what is Theranos? Just go look it up. Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, this is Elizabeth Holmes. Yeah, this is a turtleneck.
But, yeah, that. Yeah, most people know that one. If I could give you one piece of advice, is that probably the most frequent thing I hear is, and generally feel from a lot of people, is that the future is really unknown and feels really impossible and feels like you might not be able to, your jobs are insecure, all this stuff is really insecure. Should you even learn these technologies? Will they be out of date and all that? My best advice for you guys that if you feel really insecure, just look at Java for a second. Java came out, 1.6 came out in 2005, 2006, and there's still companies that are running 1.6. They have not moved forward at all. Java 8 is still completely used by most companies. You can make so much bank, if you will, by just simply knowing what the people need, by the ecosystem. And for the next 10, 20, and probably 30 years, there's going to be a complete need for programmers at all points. Now, I'm not saying some future version of AI can't exist. I'm just saying, A, I haven't even seen evidence that there is this existing AI that's all powerful that can actually solve problems. And B, I haven't seen any evidence to say that it will happen in the current timeline we're in the current thing that we're iterating on. Right now, I just think that it's just a cool autocomplete. It's a cool word calculator, and you shouldn't be so worried about the future. Just get good, enjoy the things you're programming, learn how to have a bit of joy in your life, become a master of your craft, because at the end of the day, if AIs can start taking away junior roles, they will in no way, shape, or form be taking away the people that have it as a craft, the people that are investing into it. Right now, I feel like I'm officially out of the journeyman stage and I'm going into the next stage of the programming world. I haven't quite hit that master of the craft 30-year experience world, but I am trying. I'm trying to get there, and I'm trying to get there every single day. And even with all of this stuff, I don't consider it even a remote reason why I shouldn't keep on pursuing it, because at the end of the day, it is going to be something that I can keep on going and getting better at, and I'll ultimately be unable to be replaced easily, ever. Very excited about it. Did I see the Gamma video? I have not seen the Gamma video. The name. You know what the name is. The AI Agent.